So in the last lecture, we discussed about manual script recording. We will be continuing that. Okay, and let me just open the file. So this is my Excel, and let me open the sheet. Okay, now yesterday what we did, let me open the file as well. Okay, so this was day3.jmx. In this lecture, what we did, we did something with Rediff. Okay, we opened the Rediff homepage, then we opened the Sahara News, and then we got to Rediff Money. Then I showed you how we can enable or disable the items. Okay, or we can say the enable or disable the elements. After that, we worked with Google and we searched for a few things. Now we would be working more with that. Okay, so let us do one thing. Let us create a new JMX file. Okay, and now in this I would be adding a thread group, and in this thread group I'll be adding a new sampler. Okay, so till now what we have done is we have made a sampler which searches for Apache Jmeter. And please guys mute your mics. I'm not able to teach properly otherwise. Okay, just a minute. Okay. So over here the protocol is HTTPS. The server name was www.google.com. Okay, and the port number was 443 and the path. So the path was search, and the query that we wanted to pass on was this, that is the parameter is Q and the value is Apache Jmeter. Right now it is without spaces, right? So let us run it once and then we would be working with how to do it with space. Okay, so the thing we need is view results tree listener. Okay, and I've not specified the name, so I would be specifying the name as Google search and say Apache Jmeter. Okay, so let me just give it a quick run and let us see what happens. So I want to save this file as well, so I'll save it with the name as day4.jmx. Okay, and it is done. Okay, and it is executed. So see, it is searching for Apache JMeter, and in the results, we would be able to see the results when we see the HTML part. Okay, now we are able to see the results. These are the same results as shown on the Google page itself. Okay, now over here, right now, as I'm searching without space, so let us do one thing. Let us replicate the same request, and I've copied the request. I'll disable this one. Okay, and now I would be providing space. So Apache space JMeter, and over here as well, Apache space JMeter. Okay, now if I run it, you would notice that it is not going through. Okay, if I enable the other one, okay, and I've enabled this particular element now. If I run it without without flushing out older results, you would see that the without space one is going through, but the one with space is not going through. Now, what is the issue? Why it is not going through? So let us do one thing. Let us just check. So over here in the sampler result, it gives us the response code, non-HTTP response code, java.net URI syntax exception. Okay, now over here it is giving us that non-HTTP response message, illegal character in query at index 38. Okay, so let us do one thing. Let us copy this, and over here say notepad. Okay, and I'll be pasting it over here. Now 5 2 7 8 9 10 11 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. See, the index error is at this page, this part. Okay. So this is the index number 38. Okay. Now it is telling us that there is some error. Now what is the error? So let us do one thing. Let us copy this request and let us run this over in the browser and let's see what is the difference. Okay. So say Apache space Jmeter. Now, one more thing, whenever we like give a search query in Google, okay, it adds many things, okay, but the actual query is of this part only, okay. So other information is being sent to the browser openly, okay. Even if you don't provide that information, it doesn't matter, okay, but only in case of Google, okay. You cannot cut short things in other websites, okay. So over here, the query is this. Now you can notice the difference. There is a plus mark in between, right? So the query that we had is this, okay? Apache space Jmeter. Now either you have to provide percentage 20 or either you have to provide plus mark. So let us do one thing. Let us go with both of them. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is, let me just enable the element again. Okay, and now I would be providing a plus mark in between. Okay, now I would be running it. So as a result, you can see it is going through, right? Now the request is going through, and if you see the response data, you would be able to see the results as Apache JMeter as well. Okay, now it is searching for Apache space JMeter. If you notice over here, the text over here, okay, so it is searching for Apache JMeter, right? Apache space JMeter. Now the same way we would be copying this element and I would be pasting this element again. Okay. So this time I would be providing percentage 20. Okay. So percentage 20, and now I would run it and you would see that it is going through as well. So both of the requests are going through. The first one is with percentage 20 and the second one is with plus mark, right? So plus mark and percentage 20. Both of the requests are going through. So to provide data in this, okay, to provide data when the method is get, okay, you have to provide data in a way, either it should contain plus mark, it should not contain spaces. So spaces should be replaced with plus mark or percentage 20. Okay, so now this is one of the things that we did. Now if you notice over here, the method is get, right? Whatever I'm providing, whatever information I'm providing is sent openly under the URL. Okay, so this is my URL and the request is being sent, the data is being sent with the URL. So if I manipulate the data over here, okay, say I'm just typing some dummy stuff, okay, and if I hit enter, this is searching for the same thing. This means that the text is open, it is open with URL, and the page is reading the text from the URL. Okay, now this is one of the methods to send data to a website. Okay, or you can say this is one of the methods with which you can send data to a server. Okay, or you can say you can send data with a request, right? Now just a minute. So over here, let us just jot it down. Okay, so we can send data in two forms. Okay, not forms, forms won't be the correct word, two ways. Okay, so the first way is get method, which sends plain open openly readable text, right? So you are able to read the text whatever I'm sending, right? So this should not happen. So there is another method as well. We would be studying about that method, and that method is post method. Okay, now this conceals the data that we are sending, okay, and it is not openly visible. Okay, so what happened to the text? Okay, okay, So it is concealing the text. So let us do one thing. Let us try this, and then we would say, like, I'll show you the difference between the two as well when we are actually like, in working in the developer tools. So the first thing that I would do is I would be opening developer tools. So the shortcut is F12 key. So I'll hit F12 key and the developer tools window is open. Now let me get back to the page, and this was the page. Okay, so the first thing that I'll do is I'll open rediff.com. Okay, and now what we will do, say the first request should have a rediff.com. Okay, so over here let us start generating the scenario, and I would be naming the older one as get method. And now the next thing, that is post method. So I'll add a new thread group. I'll disable the older one. Okay, and I'll name the new thread group as rediff example post method. Okay, so now over here what I will be doing, I would be replicating all of the requests. So I've requested rediff.com. It might have recorded this request as well. So this is the request. Okay, and as you can see, the status code is 302. So we have to move to the immediate next request. So the moment I got to this immediate next request, it showed me the status code 200. This means this is the actual page. So let us replicate the same request. Okay, and this is the server name. So the server name is this, and I would be providing it over here. So I'll add a new sampler, HTTP request, and the server name over here. The protocol is HTTP. So let us provide it directly, and the port number is 80. Okay, let us just confirm these things. So the see, the protocol is HTTP, the port number is 80, right? So now this request is done. Let us do one thing. Let us generate another request now. Okay, and I'll be naming it as rediff home. Okay, and now we would be sending some data. Okay, so what I would do now over here, say we would be going to money link. Okay, now I hope so. It is okay. Just a minute. Okay, so over here now what we would do, right now it is already signed in. Okay, so let me just sign it out and we will be logging it again. So I would be requesting the page that is money.rediff.com, and it is giving me a prompt that hi guest. Now what I'll do, I'll go to this my portfolio. So before this, let us replicate the same request, okay, for the Rediff money. Okay, and over here in Jmeter, I would be creating a new request. Okay, and that is Rediff money. So Rediff money. Okay, now the server name is money.rediff.com and the path is this. So money.rediff.com. The protocol is HTTPS this time. As you can notice over here, the protocol is HTTPS. The URL is this. Okay, so let me just copy the server name. It is already provided, and I think so I've provided it wrong. No, it was correct. Okay, and the path is this. Okay, and the port number is 443 this time. So let us provide the port number 443. Okay, and apart from this, we are not sending any other information, right? So now over here, this request is done. Let us do one thing. Let us go to the next request. So now what I'll do, I'll flush out all the results that we already have. Okay, and now I would be clicking on my portfolio. The moment I click on my portfolio, it is taking me to this page. Okay, over here it is asking me for email address, right? Now let us replicate the same request, that is this portfolio. It would be automatically redirecting me. Actually, it is redirecting me to this page. Okay, but I would be generating this request because, or you can say, let us do one thing. Let us replicate this request. Okay, we can replicate the other request when we are successfully logged in. So the page, the server name is this, that is portfolio.rediff.com, right? So add a sampler, HTTP request. The server name is portfolio.rediff.com. And now the other thing, that is the this path, okay, and the path is this. So we would be providing the path over here. Now the protocol is HTTPS, okay, and the port number is 443, so 443. Okay, now we have this these things with us. Now the next thing that we have to do is we have to provide the email ID, right? So what I will do, I will flush out the results again, okay, and let me just close this, okay, and don't save. Okay, now over here I would be providing this email ID. So let us do one thing. Let us just click on continue, and before that let us just check this is clean. Okay, so I'll click on continue. Now the moment I clicked on continue, it had sent some request, right? Now there is a validate request, okay, and it has got some response as well. So the response is data email is valid, right? So over here now, if you notice, the request method is post, right? So let us just replicate the same request, okay, and the request is this, the path is this. So I've copied the path. I would be replicating the same request again, and the path is this. The server name is portfolio.rediff.com, right? The port number is 443, and the protocol is HTTPS. Okay, so we have this information. Apart from that, we were sending some other information as well, right? So as you can see, this is a post method. Now we'd notice that instead of query string parameters written over here, there is form data, right? So we have to copy the form data. Now these are the things that we have to copy. Now before copying, what I'll do, I'll click on view source, and now I would be able to copy it, okay, and I would be able to paste it over here in Jmeter as well by clicking add from clipboard. Okay, why it is not doing, let me just check whether it has copied or not. Okay, so let us do one thing, let us copy it again, Control C, and then over here add from clipboard. Okay, it has added, right? So there are two parameters it is sending. The first one is a validate, the second one is the email ID. So email ID is this, it is automatically adding @rediffmail.com. Now the shortcut for the HTTP request code for @ is @40. Okay, so you can provide it @ as well, you can provide it like this as well. Okay, now over here I have not made one change, and the request method still is method as get, right? So let us do one thing, let us disable the other three, okay, and we just have this HTTP request with us right now. And before this, portfolio login page, and this one is the port, or you can say email validator, right? So let us do one thing, let us just run it, or without disabling these three, okay. So we will be running it, and the requests are going through. The first request has gone through, the second request has gone through as well, the third one is also correct, okay, successful. The last one is email validator, it has gone through the get method, okay, but there is no response data. Okay, it is working with get method as well. It was not supposed to, but it is working with get method. Okay, actually it should be working with the method that is post. So let me show you it with post as well. Okay, so I'll click on post. Now if I send the data, okay, it would be working. See, it is going through and it is showing me the response data email is valid. Okay, and if I make a change in the email ID, say if I provide some wrong email ID, say 198, okay, and if I run it now, you would see that it is giving me the error that email address is not registered. Do not check the sampler like successful, sampler is successful or not. This is because the request is going through. Whatever response you are getting is different. Okay, so the response from server is this: email address is not registered. So if I provide some other email address, for example, over here, Abhishek at the rate wisdom training.com, right? So this email address is not registered. So if I run it, you would see that it is giving me the same error, that is email address is not registered, right? Now this is one of the examples for post method. Let us do one thing. Let us not log in right now, or we can log in as well. Okay, so over here, let me just flush out the results that we have. Okay, now I'll click on continue. Okay, my password is already provided. I'll click on continue, and the moment I click on continue, the request is going through, and there are a lot of requests after that. Now the first one is this. Okay, so it is telling me that switching protocols. Okay, and then the next one is do login. The status code is 200. That means this is the request that we actually want. Okay, and over here the path is this. Okay, so let us copy the path, and we would be providing it over here in Jmeter. So I'll add a sampler, login. Okay, and over here the path is this that I have already copied. Okay, and now in the developer tools we have the server name as well. So let us copy the server name. The protocol is HTTPS and the port number is 443. So let us provide them directly. Okay, so the server name is this, the protocol is HTTPS, and the port number is 443. Okay, now there is some other information with the request as well. So the request is having some other information, that is this. Okay, so it is containing the email ID and the password and some remember information. Okay, so I'll paste it over here. The email ID is there, the password is there, and the remember me is also on. Okay, now the request method is get, right? And if I run it, the last one is going through, it is successful, but it is redirecting, as you can see. So the first request is having the sampler as this, the response code is 302. Okay, and the next one is the response code is 200. Okay, so the request is this rediff.com. Okay, and over here this is the data. Okay, now the request is not going through, as you can see there is no response body. Okay, and over here there is no text as well, right? The text is there, but it is redirecting me, so it is not able to log in. So let us do one thing, let us provide the method as post. Okay, and now I'll run it, and over here again it is trying to log in, but still it is not logging in. Now the okay, why it is getting in get method, just a minute. Okay, so I feel like they might have made some change on their page. So let us do one thing, let us quickly switch to some other application. Say we have one application that is Jmeter Nabble. Okay, and let us try working over here. Okay, now over here we would be logging in, so let us just replicate the same request over here. The first thing is this, the URL. So the server name is this, let us quickly copy it. Okay, and I'll disable the older one and I'll create a new one. Okay, a new thread group. I'll name it as Jmeter Nabble login. Okay, now over here I'll add a sampler HTTP request. So the server name is, so the protocol is HTTP. Okay, I provided HTTPS, it is HTTP. The server name is this, that is www.jmeterarchive.org. The port number is by default 80. Apart from this, there is no other information involved right now. Okay, now let us just open developer tools for this particular tab. Okay, so F12 key. Okay, I hit F11 accidentally. So F12 key. Okay, and now I'll be checking preserve log. And now over here, I would be clicking on login. Right, the moment I click on login, okay, it is okay. This Jmeter enable it every time it makes such issues. Just a minute. Okay, so this F12, okay, and over here I'll click on login now. Okay, and I'll be preserving the log as well. So click on login, and now this time it is taking me to the page directly. So this is the request that we have generated. So let us replicate the same request. The request method is get, so we can copy the things directly. Now, as you can see, this is the same data that is being shown over here in the query string parameters. Now over here, if I click on view source, this is the same thing that I'm able to see over here as well. Okay, so when you're working with get method, okay, you can copy the data just after question mark. Okay, you can copy the data directly as well. Okay, now over here I would be creating a new request. Okay, and I'll be adding the data from the clipboard directly. The first one is the enable home. Okay, and now the next one is the enable login page. Okay, so it would be taking us to the login page. Now the server name. Okay, so we have to provide the server name. Before this, I would be copying the path. So the path is this, that is template slash NAML servlet.jtp. Okay, apart from this, now I would have to copy this server name. So let us just copy the server name and I'll paste it over here. Okay, and the protocol, so the protocol is HTTP, the port number is 80. Okay, and now let us give it a quick dry run. Okay, and these two requests are going through. It is taking me to the login page, as you can see on your screen. Now the third thing, the main thing, we would be providing the data to login. So before this, let me flush out the results in this. And over here, I'll click on login. The moment I click on login, it is sending some data. Okay. Now you notice that over here, the request method has been changed to post. Okay. And now we have to replicate the same request. Okay, and this is my email ID and password, so these are visible to you directly. Please don't change the username and password. If you want to try these with my username and password, you can, but please don't change the password. Okay, now over here, see, let us replicate the request. Now this is a post method. So if there is something after question mark, you have to keep that thing in the path. Okay, when the request method is get, okay, you have to ignore the part after question mark. But when the request method is post, okay, specifically this post method, okay, and let me just highlight it. Okay, when the request method is post, right, then what you have to do is you just have to copy everything after the question mark as well. So this whole request needs to be copied. Okay, so over here, this path, okay, and now I would be pasting it over here in Jmeter. So where is my Jmeter window? This is here, and I'll add a new sampler, and the path is this. Remember, I'm considering the part after question mark as well for this request. Okay, now the method is post. The server name, so the server name is this, that is jmeterarchive.org. Okay, so let me just copy it and I'll paste it over here. The protocol is HTTP. Okay, and the port number is 80. Okay, apart from this, there is some other information involved as well. So let us go to view source. Now, one more thing before copying this data, you can see that there is query string parameter as well, and there is form data as well, right? Query string parameter is only having the name, there is no value involved, but form data is having the names and the values as well. So let us just copy them and provide them in Jmeter. Okay, so add from clipboard, and this is the information that we have now. Okay, and say enable login. Okay, now I would run this request. So in the view results tree, we would be able to see the results, and as you can see, just a minute, text. Okay, and over here it is able to log in. Okay, and the request is this, that is post method, and this is the data that is being sent. Okay, over here, if I check some other page after this, the login won't be preserved. So there is a need of some element that we are going to study in the coming lectures. Okay, so right now I just wanted to show you the post method. So this is our post method. Okay, and now just a minute. Okay, so over here now we are done with one or two examples of this get method and post method. So let us do one thing, let us get more examples. Okay, so let us start with get method again, and over here I'll disable this. And right now we discussed only one example, that is Google search. Okay, where we search for something. So let us do one thing, let us search for something on another application, say Amazon. Okay, so I'll be considering Amazon now. Over here we would be, just a minute, say Amazon, and over here we would be searching for some text. For example, say Apple iPhone. Okay, so this is the request that we are sending, and over here this is the request that is going through. Right, so let us go back and let us replicate the same thing but with developer tools on. So developer tools, and now coming back on this page. Okay, and over here two developer tool windows are open, so let us close both of them and then we'll open them again. Okay, so let us just close other things that we don't need. This is syllabus, it is needed, and bin directory is not needed right now, so let us just close this bin directory and this developer tools. Okay, so over here now in this window, okay, we would be searching for something and we would be replicating the same request. So let me preserve the log and then let me search for something and say Apple only. Right now I've searched for Apple, and over here a lot of requests are going through, and say this is suggestions part, and over here somewhere it would be searching for Apple as well. Okay, so these are the search. Okay, so this is my keyword, this is my search. Okay, we need to check all the requests one by one, which one is ours. Okay, so over here this one is our request. Okay, we search for Apple. Now let us do one thing, let us replicate this request as the request method is get, so we can copy the part after the question mark, and I would be providing it over here in Jmeter. So let us just add a thread group quickly. So add thread group, and in this thread group I'll add a sampler, not this one, the other one, that is HTTP request. I'll delete the older one. Okay, and now over here I would be naming it as Amazon search. Okay, and over here the path is, sorry, the data is this. Okay, and now we would be copying the path. So the path is this. Okay, that is /s/NOSS. Okay, SBNOS is something. Okay, now over here we have provided this information. Now the next thing, that is the server name and the protocol. So the server name is this, the protocol is HTTPS. So this means that the by default port number is 443. The server name is here, the port number is 443. Let us just quickly check whether the port number is different or same. See, the port number is same, that is 443. Okay, now this is a get method. So let us just give this request a run. Okay, and now I'll run it, and in the view results tree we would be able to see the results. So let me get to HTML part, and now we would be going to request body. Okay, and just a minute, my system is stuck a bit, and okay, and the request has gone through. Let us go to response data. Okay, and over here you can see that it is searching for items, Apple original something something. There are many things, there are many results that it is showing. Now these are the same results that we're getting over here as well, right? Now over here, if I make a change in the search, say Apple plus iPad. Okay, so it would be searching for Apple iPad, right? So the same thing I would be pasting over there. Okay, and let us see whether the request is going through or not. So Apple plus iPad, okay, over here. Now I'll run this request again. So the moment I run this request, the request is going through, and you can see that it is searching for Apple iPad now, right? It is giving me results regarding the Apple iPad, right? Now over here we can generate requests like this. So this is one of the requests. Now let us do one thing. Let us search for something else in some other page, or let us do one thing. Let us get to our own website, that is loadrunner.jmeter.com. Okay, and let us do one thing. Let us go to this contact us form and let us try to fill this form. Okay, so now let us fill the information. Before this, we would be requesting the same page. So over here, I'll copy the path, and in Jmeter, I would be providing the data. So I'll add a sampler. The path is this. Okay. Now over here, the say URL is this. So I'll copy this. The server name is this. Okay. It has already copied HTTP itself. So let us just remove this. Okay, and the protocol is HTTP. The port number is 80 as the request is of HTTP type only. Okay, now over here I'll name this sample as contact us page. Okay, and now I would be providing some information. So say my name is Abhi and my email ID is abhishek@wisdomtraining.com. Contact number is 123456789 Okay, any dummy number. The country is India. Okay, the message is hello. This is a post request. Okay, and let me just correct it again. Hello, this is a post request. Okay, so over here I'm sending some data with them as a part of my request, and it asking me to add this number as well. So I won't be adding this number right now. Okay, I actually don't intend to send a request to the trainer, but I'm just telling you how we can work with this part, that is post form data. Okay, so let me just open developer tools on this. Okay, so developer tools are open. I'll close the older one. Now I'll check the preserve log. Okay, and now I would be sending this request. So the moment I hit on the submit query, okay, I have to provide some dummy data. Okay, now the website has changed. So just a minute. I need to provide the correct information only, say 976. Okay, so let us just provide this query. Okay, and this is the thing that it is showing me. The information has been sent. Okay, so the request is this. Okay, contact us, and the data has been sent. Okay, and this is the data being sent, right? So now over here I would be copying this data. Okay, and now say the request URL is this. So let us replicate the things. So path is this. Let us just copy the path, and over here I would be creating a new sampler. So I think so the information is same. So let us just change this and say provide fill form data. Okay. Now over here, okay, I would be filling the form data. The request part of request is same, so I won't be making any changes. Protocol, the server name, the port number, the path, the method. Okay, method is post, right? So the method should be post, right? Now over here in developer tools, there is another information being involved as well. So view source, and I'll be copying it. Now this is a form data. Whenever you're dealing with post request method, there should be form data. Whenever you're dealing with get request method, then you will be able to see query string parameters. Okay. Now over here, keep one thing in mind whenever you're filling this form. Okay, provide the information, correct information, and over here in the message, okay, right, mention this that you are just trying. Okay, and only it should go for only once, because I will be getting the emails again and again otherwise. Okay, now over here, right now the number has changed, but you won't be providing the correct number in the request when you would be replicating the request. So this is the number. I'm keeping it as some other number as well. Okay, I'm adding some text that is unnecessary. Okay, now I would run this. Okay, now as you can see, the requests are going through, fill form data is going through. Okay, and my Jmeter is lagging. There is some issue with that. Just a minute. And over here, okay, it has stuck. The requests are gone through, but it has stuck. Okay, now the request has gone through, and you would see that it is giving me, okay, it is showing me this information. Okay, it was not supposed to, but okay, let us just check over here. Now see, the request is going through. Okay, and the request data is this, that is Abhi. My name is Abhi, my email ID is this, the contact number is this, the country ID is this. Okay, the message is hello, this is a post request, and the captcha input is this. Okay, now over here you would see one more thing. So let me just show you that. Right now in our requests, we are able to see the data like this, and just a minute. Okay, so if I scroll down, okay, you would see an option that there is a HTTP part as well. Now this request is divided into many parts: the method, the protocol, the host, the port number, the path, right? The parameters that you are sending. Okay, message, this is the message, captcha input is this. Okay, the name is this, the number is this, and every information is being sent. Now you are able to see this information in a different way, rather than being seeing the information like this, right? Now over here you can see the request headers directly as well. Okay, otherwise you would have to switch to the another tab, that is request headers. Okay, now over here in the same way you can go to response data, and you can see that it is giving me this information, right? Now there is some bug in this, like contact us page, we have to correct it, otherwise it should have gave us a error because of the captcha. Okay, now you have to try this yourself. You have to try the things on the another pages as well. You have to differentiate between the post method and the request get request method. Okay, you have to differentiate between the both of the methods, and you have to try these things yourself. Okay, that how the data is being sent in the post method. And you can notice over here in Jmeter there is no data visible to us directly. Okay, if I show you the view results tree in the request, okay, there is no data involved with the URL. In the get method, the data is involved with the URL, right? So there is some data involved with the URL, but over here in post method, there is no data involved with the URL. Okay, so the data is being sent as a different packet with the request. Okay, it is not going inside the request openly, it is going inside with the request, but it is concealed. No one can read it directly. Okay, so this was for today. We have discussed these things again. Okay, and now from tomorrow we would be starting with logic controllers. Not from tomorrow, from the next lecture. The next lecture would be on Wednesday now. Okay, and as I'm on leave. Okay, and now the next thing that we would be covering is logic controllers. So you have plenty of time to practice things, practice as many things as you can, as much as you can. Practice the things on Jmeter Nabel, try to log in on Jmeter Nabel, then try to, let me just jot it down, that would be better. Okay, you can try logging on Jmeter Nabel. Okay, and say the next thing you can try logging on Rediff money to be specific. Okay, and try searching for many things. Okay, right now, see, we have, say, searched for two things only. Okay, two elements in the same request. Say, now what you can do is you can search for, say, Apple, say, iPhone XS. Okay, so there are three words in this query, so you can try this thing as well. Okay, so you just have to try the things as much as you can. Okay, and try to run more requests as much as you can. Okay, so this was for today's lecture. If you have any queries, feel free to ask. And in the next lecture, we would be starting with logic controllers, and we would be starting with how we can use the logic controllers and how we can like simplify our test plan. Okay. So any queries? Just a minute. So Dilip has a question. Dilip, to everyone, whenever you are asking a question, make sure that you are sending it to everyone rather than sending it to me directly. Okay. So over here, the question from Dilip is, if I want to test sign up page performance, which contains CAPTCHA, then how I need to handle CAPTCHA? See, Dilip, when we are working with automation, we cannot handle CAPTCHAs. Actually, we cannot handle CAPTCHAs because that image needs to be analyzed. Okay, so wherever the CAPTCHA is there, you have to skip that page. Okay, where you have to skip that request because right now there is no method to automate CAPTCHA. So we have to like skip that part. Right now our CAPTCHA is not working fine, otherwise it would have caused us the issue as well. Okay. Now Hari is trying to ask something. You can, Hari, yes, you can ask. Okay, Hari, you can watch the earlier videos as well. We have the pre-recorded videos, and we have recorded the sessions as well. This session is also getting recorded. Okay, so you can contact us on our website chat. Okay, that is this. You just go to our website and you can ask, contact us on website. Okay, you would be getting the links to those videos. Okay. See, bench. Okay. Omer, please ask the questions publicly so that others can also see that. Okay.